This I'm going to make is called a Confederate love rose. The wives of the Civil War, people who served in the Civil War used to make these and give them to their loved ones before they went out into battle. I learned how to make these in Charleston, South Carolina. This right here comes from the center of the palm tree. It's got to be new growth. You can use green too and alternate to get different colors, but it's best to use 4 because the color is more symmetrical. I'm just going to use 3 for this particular demonstration right now. You want to split it down the middle. You will see some white hairs growing along the side of the palm fronds. You want to get rid of those, and then there's a hard spine on the side right here. If you just pinch that, it'll come right off. You want to get all those, and any big humps, anything that's really hard, because it'll crack and then you'll have all kinds of string on your Confederate love rose. Now the best way to do it is to fan it out from back to front. I've been doing this for 17 years. It's going to take your own type of technique to get used to it. This is the way I hold it right here. And you want to start folding over one on top of the other. Now it's very important you keep this in a circle. You can start smaller and get bigger as you go out, but you've got to keep it in a circle. You just keep folding it over just like this, one over the top. Each one will be approximately 45 degrees from the other. And it's best not to fold them to where there's a crisp line because the palms can break. You know, occasionally you'll get one that'll fold over. The brown discoloration you're seeing is just where the tree will pick up dirt from construction sites and stuff like that, where we are now. If you see, I just keep folding it over, one over the top of the other. So when you get to this point, it's always best to have it to where one side is being held by your thumb and the other side you can grab onto it. Now the best way for a new person to do this is to take the whole thing, put it down on your leg, and grab it like this. You want to stick this part, these 3 ends, through the top and hold it. Now it's very important, you see where my fingers are? From the center of this, you've got to be able to keep your fingers just like this. So you're holding the whole entire contraption together. It takes a lot of coordination, a lot of practice. I've been doing this for 17 years. So at the bottom, you want to start twisting to your left. And as you twist, it'll start to form. Now when you're twisting, you want to make sure to pinch this so it doesn't, the whole thing, because it'll start to spring loose in the middle. If you don't do that, it'll take forever. I can do one in about 2 minutes. And you just keep twisting it around like this. You want to push up a little bit in the top so it doesn't keep sucking down. This is a crucial part right here. Very, very, very crucial. Make sure you keep it at the top. You see how I've got it rolled over the top, and then at the bottom, you want to make sure it's pinched nice and tight. If not, it'll come unraveled. Now these will last 40, 50 years. Easy. You can put it on a flat surface, push it down to where it's nice and level. Now with the remainder, you want to pick up one of these ends that you've stuck through the top, place the 3 leaves that you just wrapped between them. These right here will act as your leaves for your rose. It's where you have a little like extra decoration there. On the other side of the stalk, you'll find some thinner.
Hold on a second.
So you see now you've got the leaves. Basically you want a piece that's about half this big. So if you fold it in half and kind of split it, the best way to do is use the flimsy end, and I always use my mouth, to stick it through one of the folded parts at the bottom of your petal. And it will come out somewhere. Sometimes it doesn't come out like it should, but let me pick another one. You see I'm putting it right through one of these folded over parts. That's to give it an anchor. The wrap is crucial. Some people staple and some people use rubber bands and stuff like that. I've always been able to do it natural, and it'll stay if you do it tight enough. You've got to use a lot of finger pressure. So you want to go ahead and wind it just like this, starting at the top, working your way down and compressing with your fingers the stem, because when it starts to dry, all that moisture will be gone. So it's got to be extra tight, and when it dries, it'll all come unraveled. So you want it to be super tight. Even if you fold, sometimes you can hear where the stem is cracking. You want it really, really tight because it'll last forever. put it through again in the bottom parts, and then split it in half. One goes one way, the other one the other way, and then you can just tie a normal granny knot on one side and a granny knot on the other side. Just like that. Flip it over. That way you'll be sure not to go anywhere. Like I said, this is just a 3-leaf. And of course trim the excess off. This is just a 3-leaf. If you want to use 4 to make it multicolor, it's best to alternate between green and white in the same fan shape that I told you. It'll come out a lot more symmetrical. If you use green and white with a 3-leaf, it doesn't look that good. So, and there you have your Confederate love rose. Now this right here will be the angelfish. We're going to start with just 2 pieces of palm. I've already removed the hard piece that we discussed in the palm rose, the Confederate love rose. This can be a little bit more complex, so you have to watch carefully. The best way to do this is to hold it and wrap it around your fingers twice. This can be confusing the first couple times you do it, but it's basically over, under, over, under, over, under, over, or backwards or forwards, either one. You start under, over on this side, bring it around, do the same thing on this side, under, over, and then you just do the opposite on this side, over, under. Make sure you stick your finger through, and over, under. So that's going to make your weave right there. You want to hold both ends, pull them back and forth, and just keep pulling them. Eventually you'll have like a little basket shape here, which will be the front of the fish. You can already kind of see where our angelfish is going from here. Now, as this dries, it's always best to dry these in a book, because if not, the loss of water. Palm trees are just like us, they're about 70% water. So when you lose the water, the leaves are shrinking a lot. So usually it's best to use a pair of scissors, but I'm going to use this knife right now to kind of cut these into shape. This can be a little bit tricky. If I had some scissors, it'd be a lot easier, but there's your top fin. A lot of times if you take the scissors and start at the top and curve your way in, you can make a really good looking fin. Just like that. There's the top fins. And of course, at the bottom, we're going to make it look like a tail fin. Just like that. Now if you can cut it with the scissors, you can actually make it look like the the angelfish. And you've got your little fish. You can use a Sharpie or whatever. I just do these for the kids. They really like it. You can make a fishing string and all different kinds of stuff. But you have the general idea on that. Now this right here, it will be the folded cross. There's lots of different ways to make the crosses. You've probably seen them on Palm Sunday, but this is the best way. You want it at least about as wide as my pinky, I guess. So you want to start right about there and split it off one piece. Make sure you have a nice clean edge to use. Get another piece and make it the same exact width. It's very important that they're the same. If not, when you're pulling one end through the other, it will really screw up on you. So it's always best to hold them together and size it up and make sure they're the same size. Cut this in flat too. Now this can be kind of tricky. You want to start off, well, they're not the same size. Let me get them just right so I don't mess up. These palms will split perfectly if you get, this is the same palm from the center of the tree. You want to start like this, one end and the other, fold it around one time, and fold it around again. That's the top. And you take the bottom part, fold it over. I always use my mouth on this part. Now, there's three different layers here. The bottom one is where you started, Then you have a middle piece, and then you have the top piece. You want to go between the middle and the top and pull it through. That'll give you your 90-degree angle. So it's held together like that. With one part, you have to break off the end again. You're going to stick it through one side. It's always best to try to find out whichever one is longer. These happen to be the exact same size, so it doesn't really matter. You want to pull it through, fold it. You can crimp that end. Put it back through the same exact slot that you went through. I'm going to make sure they're even before you fold them, because there will be a line if you have to readjust it. Fold that. You can fold this piece right here back and forth if you don't have scissors, and it'll just tear right off. On the back side, this will be the long side of the cross. You want to go under that first layer, pull it up, fold it at the bottom. Now you can do one of two things here. You can either put it through and just fold the top, but some people want to hang their cross up. So we'll back this back out so you can hang it from a hook or from your rear view mirror on Palm Sunday, and just give it one little turn. Put it back through that same slot again, and you'll have a little loop here at the top to where you can hang your Palm Sunday cross on something. Just like this. And then it's cool, they got these silver and copper magic markers, which I've been using to do these Celtic designs on this. It really shows up on the dark green ones. So, and that is the folded Palm Sunday cross. And I hope you enjoyed our lesson of demonstration of 3 different things here. By the way, I'm Orlando Roseman. You can find me on at Gmail, Orlando Roseman Rosemail@gmail.com. I'll ship all the way across the United States. Don't mind the dirty hands, I'm just working.